Video disc jockey here. Hello, Loveland, Mainville, and Goshen, Ohio. A few days ago, I spoke of my grandma's house when I was a kid and how peaceful it was in the 1970s. Now, 99% of the time. Now, first at home, my dad had a CB radio, and of course, we had only had four channels on television. In a lot of ways, the CB radio was a lot more entertaining than the television. The CB radio was a lot more relaxing too, by the way. Now, at my grandma's house, as long as my cousins were home, which was next door they lived, as long as they were home, my grandma's play. I loved going to my grandma's house and playing with my cousins. Like I said, we'd climb trees, we'd play hide and go seek, we'd listen to music on the stereo, on the old 45 RPMs. And now here was a drawback. That's why I'm a little bit darker today. Now, this happened twice. Now, like I just said, 99% of the time, my grandma's place was a lot of fun. But I can remember two times. Well, we always went to church. We always went to my grandma's on the Sunday because we would walk to church. And after church, me and my cousin, my sister, we'd get together and play. And we stayed all day. Every Sunday we stayed all day at my grandma's. And at night, about 6 o'clock, my mom and my grandma would go to church. And after they'd get back from church, then we'd go on home. Once in a while, us kids would go to church with them, but usually not. Anyway, one time we went over there, and I was all excited to play with my cousins. And my cousin says they're not home. They went on an outing to Lake Erie. They took the boat. Oh my God! I I tell you what. Now picture me. I'm 11, 12 years old. Now, normally I didn't climb a tree by myself. I'd wait for my cousins to come over and we'd walk in the backyard and climb a tree. But it was so boring. Now picture me. I'm 11, 12 years old. I climbed halfway up to this huge tree. I climbed halfway up the tree, and there was a limb. There was one big, huge limb that was a little flat on the top. And it was perfect to set on. And there was a little limb above. You had to grab your hands on this little limb to keep your balance. But you really didn't feel like you needed balance because the limb was flat on top. But anyway, you still held that limb for balance because you're high up. Now picture me. It's on a Sunday, summertime, 1974. I'm 11, 12 years old. Well, I was actually 11. But I say 12 because it was in that age. Anyway, it was 1974, and now I'm bored out of my skull. I'm bored. I'm 11 years old, and I'm bored out of my skull. I sat up in that tree for an hour. Now that was the drawback of the 1970s. you know oh and at times it was a hard life. You younger people, let's say you was born 1980 and later, you guys today don't understand how lucky you got it with all these avenues of entertainment. You don't understand how easy lucky, how easy you have it. You got it today trillion times easier today. Million, billion, trillion times easier. When I was up in that tree, Sunday, 1974, I mean, I might as well have been in the 1800s. The only difference was we had electricity, and of course, four channels on TV. And I didn't even bother to go and turn on TV in Grandma's house because I knew there was nothing on. But that's why today I carry hundreds of movies in my pocket on my smartphone. I mean, if I'm camping or whatever, I've got movies as long as I got battery power. But the 1970s could be, at times, mind numbing boredom. And I would sit there up in that tree. Oh my God, just bored out of my skull. Now, like I just said, that happened twice. I think the other time was around 1976. They went on another outing to Lake Erie. I think I mentioned Lake Erie in the beginning, but yeah, they went on an outing to Lake Erie twice, 1974 and like 1976. But that's what the 1970s was like.